Councillor Kitsays and myself were in Ballater on Hogmanay with the Deputy First Minister John Swinney to see for ourselves the effects of the terrible flooding that had been when the River Dee reached the highest level it had since 1927. And while we were going round looking at the devastation there, we did not for a moment imagine that just a few days later we'd be witnessing similar scenes in Ellen and Inverurie and elsewhere.
It's certainly been a very traumatic event for Aberdeenshire. It's been quite devastating among a lot of our communities. It's an event that I hope I personally never see again, but yes, it's been very traumatic.
Aberdeenshire Council worked together with our partners in the emergency services, the Blue Light services, with Scottish and Southern, all the public services that we expect to respond in emergencies like that. And Aberdeenshire put its plans into place for major emergencies like that. We opened up the rest centres, we helped with the clean-up, we helped with the sandbagging beforehand, and in the aftermath Aberdeenshire's been taking the lead in terms of the clear-up operation and beginning to start to get these communities and residents and businesses back on their feet. And we've already seen the impact the council can have in terms of the way that we've managed to get the A93 reopened with the Invercoll Bridge and the diversion. Some magnificent work has gone on there, and our roads engineers have done us proud in terms of how they've been able to get that vital infrastructure back up and running within a fortnight.
I think one of the big lessons for me is that how resilient our communities are. And how many people actually are prepared to help. People weren't standing around waiting for the council to come and help them. They were actually getting stuck in. They were helping themselves and helping the neighbours. And I think that was one of the big lessons that I learned, that when we do have a crisis like this, our local communities are prepared to get together, to help each other, and to help each other get over the problems.
In the depths of adversity, we've seen the very, very best of the North East character coming to the fore over the last few weeks. People have been, certainly they've been helping themselves, but also they've been helping their neighbours and making sure that the most vulnerable were well looked after. They
all mucked in, they were helping each other. There was one instance where a fireman was helping an individual with their property in his own house had been flooded. But he went to help them first. So I think that's a credit to all the community.
Aberdeenshire Council has been instrumental in setting up a flood relief plan for people who've been affected. We're distributing grant monies from the Scottish Government, £3,000 grants available for businesses affected by flooding, £1,500 for residents who've been affected, and we've been instrumental in getting behind a charitable appeal through Foundation Scotland so that people who wish to make a contribution to help with the reconstruction process and to help some of the most vulnerable people, many of whom might not have had insurance for their belongings themselves or even for their properties, to help them get through this as best they can.
But we also have to recognise that once all the initial furore is over, people then have to get on with their lives. So we need to make sure that we keep on top of the situation and we help our residents.
This is a long-term job of recovery across a whole range of sectors, and whether it's in terms of economic development, whether it's in terms of rebuilding infrastructure, the council has got a major role to play in it.
In terms of the business community, I think is to help those businesses affected to be able to get back in the businesses. We want to be able to say that Aberdeenshire is open for business, as it always is. In terms of the communities, we need to make sure that the communities know the access to funding that they have, the help that's available, and to try and get them back to normality as quickly as possible.
Aberdeenshire's a resilient place with resilient communities, and we're bouncing back from this. We've got a big tourist season coming up this summer. We need to get the recovery in place in order to show that Aberdeenshire is open for business and to get people coming back here to spend their money and their time in the area, knowing that all the traditional attractions that brought them here are still here.